สวัสดีครับ Greetings from Bangkok กสิทธิ์พิรมยา during the month of September and one could not but need to say something every now and then about what's going on in the United States and the behavior of the United States towards friends and allies and even enemies. Because so far, the foreign policy posturing of the United States under the leadership of President Donald Trump has been negative to the world at large and also negative to the image of the great United States, the cradle of democracy, the cradle of technology and human advancement. What we have been seeing for the past few months and so on under the leadership of President Donald Trump is demand, is coercion, is pure brute force on friends and allies to act according to the wishes of the United States. The custom tariffs, the sanctions, have antagonized everyone around the world. It has unsettled the sense of normalcy and cooperation. All the countries combined around the world will not have the ability to really challenge the United States. So, and they are not, I think, the rest of the world is not the cause of the worries and the reaction of the United States. And everyone around the world in totality is not a threat to the United States. There can be some threat, but it's not that threatening or of a grave danger to the United States. But adversely, the United States is in the position to lead and help build the world, to make it peaceful, to have the world that is in harmony, where everyone collaborate and cooperate. So, but where do the problems come from? For these upheavals in the world at large, I think the problems emanate from within the United States itself. The American society has been allowing President Donald Trump and some of his supporters to do whatever he likes. The principle of check and balance does not seem to be in practice anymore in the United States. Democracy is about the rules of law and rationality also. And there is now a lot of problem in the United States. The assassination of a political activist, a great Trump supporter, the shooting and killing at a Catholic church by white man against white people. There's much of intolerance, reflecting the hatred, reflecting the rejection of the sanctity of life and religious belief, and so on. And the economic situation in the United States doesn't look rosy. Likely inflation, high cost of living, and a lot of big companies are taking their assets out of the stock markets for fear of the uncertainty of the stock market. The dollar has become more and more expensive in relation to other world currencies and so on. And on top of that, President Donald Trump is becoming more autocratic, more authoritarian. The sending of National Guards to various cities in the United States on the surface seems reasonable, look good. The federal government to help the local government to suppress crimes and bring back order and security and so on to the local societies and so on. But from the other angle, it is about central government or federal government intervention in the affairs of the various states of the United States and so on. The return to more centralization of power instead of the continuation of this decentralization of power, and so on. The United States seems to be changing a lot, more or less in a negative way. The president is becoming more authoritarian in spite of the fact that he is an elected public figure. And there are so many court cases against the president for his order and decisions and so on. So there must be a lot of confusion inside the American society. And other countries, friends of America abroad, are not in the position to render assistance. It could be construed as interference in the internal affairs of the United States. And other countries around the world do not have the power to convince President Donald Trump to act in a more rational manner, to be more kind and collaborative. It is up to the American people to tackle the problem themselves. And there are many good Americans. The American society is full of people with so high intellect, highly educated. So there is a need for the good Americans to come out, to speak with one voice or collectively, to challenge the undesired, unwanted behavior of President Donald Trump. The United States problems must be solved by the American people. So more Americans, leaders, prominent figures must come out, work together to bring President Donald Trump to his senses, to behave and to act in a more rational, collected manner. And as friends of American and so on, we would like to wish the American people further success in a very noble undertaking of bringing back the American society to the rules of law, to the atmosphere of tolerance and togetherness, and to a dialogue in order to overcome the problems and push the America forward, and to place the United States in the world arena as a great friend and collaborator for world peace and common prosperity. Thank you ขอบคุณมากครับ